Hi YouTube, welcome to TandEGarage and welcome to another episode of Rattle fixing on my 2020 BMW G20 chassis. Today we are going to be also jumping back into the cabin. I'm going to be using a handheld method because we're going to be talking about this right here, which is your center dome light. I have some like buzzing noises on top of my head when I'm driving through certain bumps and whatnot. I try to hold down the sunroof like this, hold it down, applying some pressure, and it's still present. So I know it's not about the sunroof, and I try to push it up or try to open the sunroof all the way, noise was still present. So I know it's not that, but when I try to press on this center dome light, it went away, so it doesn't buzz anymore. And I realized it's something probably some type of wiring. So after I've done the fix, it's completely silent, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. And let's quickly go over the tools that we're gonna need. First of all, my trusty plastic pry bar. This is good because it doesn't flex, it's hard rigid plastic. We're going to use that to take off the grill that to access the bolts behind it that's actually fastening down. And then we are going to need a T15 socket and an extension. It doesn't have to be this long, FYI. Of course, a 1/4-inch ratchet so that you can use your extension and the socket. And then we are going to need a magnet. This is optional, but it's really good to have. And lastly, we're gonna need a flathead screwdriver. Make sure it's rigid, like it doesn't flex or break, shatter on you. You need something like this, maybe a little bit thicker too, but this will do the job just fine. And since we are gonna be doing a POV view, I can't really do it all the way with you because I'm one-handed at the moment, the other hand holding the camera. But first of all, you're just gonna use your plastic pry tool to pry off this grill to access the bolt behind it. I usually would just try to use my fingernail. Sometimes it works, and this time it does as well. But just mind you, if you're doing on a cold day, the clip may snap on you, so you don't want to do that. At least let the car warm up or be in the garage if you have one underground for a little bit before you pry this off. Also, if you're doing it on a really hot day, you risk marring up the plastic around this area because this is a really soft plastic. Put back in. I'm just gonna take it off with both hands so that I don't break it because it's also like open vents with grill style. I may break it if I try to do it one hand and just snap in half. I'll be back. At this point, the grill is out. It's just held down by clips that goes into the slot to lock it in. As you can see when I flip it, I also felted this area. I don't think it's really necessary because this wasn't giving us any trouble, but it's still something good to do. And next, what's actually holding it down is these two T15 screws right here, and also there are two metal clips here and there that's holding it down. I'm gonna show you the metal clips after we've removed the two T15. And this is where your extension may come into play. I loosened it already, so just in case you're asking why I'm not even using ratchet, but you want to make sure you don't drop it because it's in cabin. In case you drop it under the seat, then you're gonna be having a bad time to try to fish it out. And after you have removed the two T15 screws, you see it's not coming off because, like I said earlier, there are two metal clips that's holding it in. What you want to do now, this is not like a pry game, so what you want to do is you grab your flathead and then you're gonna push the flat end into the slot here. Let me zoom in a little bit. You're gonna push the flat end onto here. Somehow it's going to unclip it, create a gap. Again, I don't think I can do it one-handed, but the idea is just to feed that and then you push your flathead without doing much. And then you can feel there is a spring tension, and your other hand is going to pull this down without much force, because as long as the spring tension is loosened, you are going to be able to pull this down. Of course, ideally you're going to be doing both sides, but once one side is out, use your hand to keep the gap open while you do the other one. And now I've undone the entire center dome. It's pretty heavy, so you don't want to drop it all at once, and that's why you need both hands to do that. But essentially, now that I'm pulling it down, or it just naturally drops down after you have unclipped both clips. Essentially what I was doing is that I was using my flathead to press on there, and then it's going to release the tension, and then it's just simply gonna drop. So it's the same way when you clip it back on. As long as all the slots are in the front, you're just going to push it back, and you see how now it's making contact with that. And then once you push it back in, you can see the spring tension. So now I'm just gonna let it drop with one hand. It's kind of sketchy, and you can kind of see what I've done. You have the hooks there going onto the holes on both sides, so just be mindful when you are pulling it down. You don't pull it straight down, you pull it at an angle like that. And for you guys, I'm just going to take a chance and let it hang like that. So you can kind of see right now as I'm pointing, I have a foam here, so that's preventing the harness making contact with the actual module for the center dome light itself. And then that foam also is going to act as a buffer against the frame right there. Or the brace, I guess. And also this is also acting as another buffer to make sure I'm not going to get any rattle from the harness. Even though it's cloth taped, as you can see from the factory, entire thing like that, it was still making contacts. So what I've also done is to feed another piece of foam in there, so that now it's definitely not going to be making any noises. I have felt tape over here, but I don't think it matters too much. But it was just to make sure that this is corresponding here, that's making contact, but then it's also not making any noise. And then you see that I've also taped around the corner everywhere like that. It's just so to make sure, again, I'm getting a rattle-free experience when I'm driving this car. So like I said, I'm just going to put it back up, and then I'm going to make a quick conclusion. Before you and I are going to put the center dome light module back up, I just want to make a quick note that because we have a foam sitting up here, the foam sitting there, it's thicker than what it was designed to. This is held up by clips, as you can see earlier. It's metal clips. It's going to hold its weight completely fine, especially now because we have 2 screws. But just making sure that you have clip in everything before you button up, it's crucial. So when I'm trying to put it back up, you see I've aligned the back end with the 2 holes, and then I'm gonna keep pushing towards the front, and you will be able to see that. Clip, clip. This is not going anywhere, but then at the same time you can also feel there is a gap in here. You want to put gentle force, clip it back in, both sides. I can do it with my left hand. There we go. It was just a clip on both sides that's going back into its slot. And now I can feel that it's seamless. It's sitting flush against its desired panel. So next, what we are going to do is to, well, make sure the metal clips are back in. Try to pull down a little bit. It's not going anywhere. Make sure the holes are aligned for the screws, button them up, and then slap back on your plastic grill. and job well done. Before I put the center grill back up, I just want to make a note of these two fasteners here. It's metal screws obviously going onto plastic, and behind metal C-clip providing the thread for you to fit the screws back in. Because it's going onto plastic, you don't want to kill it, or else you're gonna crack this and the entire module. It's not cheap. So just make sure you know that and don't kill it when you're torquing it down. And now I've buttoned everything back up, including the center grill for the center dome light as well. You just try to fit the shape of it, and then you just push it in with clips. There isn't really much to talk about for fitting this back in. And after you've done that, before you take it out for a test drive, you want to make sure you put your finger, go over the entire module. There isn't any noticeable abnormal gap. If you do find any, just try to push it in and see if it goes away. If not, just redo the entire process again. But yeah, that's it for this video and for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you do, please consider giving a thumbs up and subscribing. That's it. If you haven't checked out any other episode for fixing the rattle on my G20 or your G20, please check out the playlist. I have other videos available, especially for the intro episode, going over why do we have rattles, why do we have creaks and whatnot, and also the necessary tools you'll need in order for you to complete the rattle fix project on your car. Hope you have enjoyed it once again, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!